Hello everybody, I've had this video for quite a long time and it was actually Richard D. Hall who put this video out. It's quite an old video now, but it says everything to me. I started following Richard D. Hall, but he believes in space, and he laughed at me when I said I was a flatty, but anyway, he did have some good videos. And what is absolutely amazing is that the reporter did actually have some okay questions. But just look what happens when this video unfolds. If you cannot see these things, then we have no hope at all, do we? Because these are the kind of things that they're getting past you, and they love doing it. Thank goodness that this was spotted, because didn't even the news reporter hear what this guy was saying? That he never answered his questions? But this was 2014. We're now 8 years on. Just imagine what they're doing to you now. But let's watch this video. I just wanted to add that it says here in 2010, this Ed Miliband ran for leader of the Labour Party, but he didn't win. And do you want to see what he's doing now? Well, he obviously did his job good because he didn't answer. Well, you're going to see in a moment. But now he is the Secretary of State for Energy and Climate Change of the United Kingdom. Oh my God, he's still there. He's still in this government. Yeah. Anyway, let's watch the video.
Staying on the subject of puppets, we'll take a look at this clown here. I'm going to show you a clip of Ed Miliband. What's important is not what he says, but how many times he says it. Just watch this.
These strikes are wrong at a time when negotiations are still going on. But parents and the public have been let down by both sides because the government has acted in a reckless and provocative manner. After today's disruption, I urge both sides to put aside the rhetoric, get round the negotiating table and stop it happening again.
I listened to your speech in Wrexham and you talked about the Labour Party being a movement. A lot of people in that movement are the people who are on strike today, and they'll be looking at you and thinking, well, you're describing these strikes as wrong. Why aren't you giving us more leadership as a leader of the Labour movement?
At a time when negotiations are still going on, I do believe these strikes are wrong. And that's why I say both sides should, after today's disruption, get round the negotiating table, put aside the rhetoric and sort the problem out. Because the public and parents have been let down by both sides. The government's acted in a reckless and provocative manner.
Well, I spoke to Francis Moore before I came here, and the tone he was striking was a very conciliatory one. Do you think there's a difference between the words they're saying in public and the attitude they're striking in private in these negotiations? Are there negotiations in good faith, would you say?
What I say is that the strikes are wrong when negotiations are still going on, but the government has acted in a reckless and provocative manner in the way it's gone about these issues. After today's disruption, I urge both sides to get round the negotiating table, put aside the rhetoric and stop this kind of thing happening again.
It's a statement you've made publicly and you'll make to me, and this will be broadcast obviously, but have you spoken privately to any union leaders and expressed your view to them on a personal level, would you say?
Well, what I say in public and in private to everybody involved in this is get round the negotiating table, put aside the rhetoric and stop this kind of action happening again. These strikes are wrong because negotiations are still going on, but parents and the public have been let down by the government as well, who've acted in a reckless and provocative manner.
You're a parent, I'm a parent, a lot of people watching this will be parents. Has it affected you personally, this action? Has it affected your family, your friends? I mean, and what is the net effect of that going to be on parents having to take a day off work today?
I think parents up and down the country have been affected by this action, and it's wrong at a time when negotiations are still going on. Parents have been let down by both sides because the government has acted in a reckless and provocative manner. I think that both sides should, after today's disruption, get round the negotiating table, put aside the rhetoric and stop this kind of thing happening.
Oh, wait. 5 times. 5 times he said exactly the same thing. Now, what that tells me is that those words have been written down and pretty much learned. And I would ask the question, who has written those words? Has he written them and learned them? Someone else written them and learned them. If someone else has written them and he learned them, that means he's 100% a puppet. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he wrote them down and learned them. Is that the behaviour of a leader? Not in my opinion. The only thing that we should be saying to the likes of Ed Miliband, and I would include David Cameron, Theresa May and Hague and the lot of them, the only question we should be getting involved with them is take me to your leader. That's it. Because he's not the leader and neither is David Cameron. And this is what we need to be exposing in British politics. The fact that they're all puppets and are answerable to unseen puppet masters.
Remember Kerry that I was telling you about?
Yes.
Don't they look alike?
Oh, they really do.
You know, there's
They
someone who's
really
very
look
in the
alike.
news at the moment. I mean, they're so alike.
Exactly.
The person
yes.
wrote to me because they said that he plays Trump. And maybe he does. But the person I saw straight away begins with E.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Bit shocked because I never, you know, you just don't think of these people, and then suddenly once you see it, that's it.
I know, that's for sure.
So I'm just putting a few photographs over the top. They're very similar.
Yes.
I mean, as I said, I wouldn't have put them together, but now I do. And I'm just lucky that I found a couple of photographs I could put in that were the right way and so forth to do it.
Yes.
The next
really
one is back
shows it.
to Tucker Carlson. Yes.